So let's get started with our session tonight. And it is a little bit different to how we have done it in previous years. So over the years, in 20, I just had this call with the team this morning, and Ken was saying like, well, we're doing feng shui for much longer than 10 years, but we actually have been doing this, like a version of this since 2016, since March 2016. So we're like nearly 9 years. And this morning or yesterday, today, I was like planning our session, and I was like, oh, back to my little old reliables. And I have a few things that we're going to cover on tonight's call. And over the years, I would typically just host one Chinese New Year call, and it would go on for hours. There would be a lot of information, and we're going to do it a little bit different this time. So we're like splitting up the sessions into several different ones. So we are not officially in 2025 yet. So for everybody, like, happy Gregorian New Year. It's just such a joy to get to do this with you. And I remember I was just thinking about it back in 2018 when we were moving into 2018. I was talking about the energies at that time, and how there was no fire element, and there was no fire element coming in like energetically on an annual perspective until 2025. And I was like thinking, oh my God, 2025, like that's a long time away. And here we are. And as we enter into the year of the wood snake, this is the first year in many years that we actually have a sense of fire element. And when I talk about fire element, if you just think about like the Chinese New Year and think about, they have like red lanterns. Like if you get married in China, they put their money in red envelopes. Like red is the color associated with optimism, joy, good luck. And over the few years that we've had previous, like energetically, it's been metal, and a lot which is to do with the lungs, a lot of water element, fear and worry. So we're kind of like, it's not like it's gonna be perfect, but it definitely has a little bit more positive energy. And I'm just glad that we're here in 2025 doing this. So the first thing I have on my little list here is reports. So the first thing is today's prep session. I'm going to literally go through like what you should be doing right now in January to prepare for the changing over the remedies, and some of my tips for getting started. The second thing we're going to talk about is, and the second call is going to be next week, and that is going to be about the year of the snake. So a little bit more of those energies, the industries that are going to be affected, the actual energies in each gua, like some of the, that'll be good for love or whatever. It's just more that kind of, when we are working on your reports, we are looking at each one of your homes and analyzing the numbers, seeing what's the right remedy to put in to balance the annual cycle that is coming in. So if this is your first time joining the this year, if you're first time in Powerhouse and not joining this Chinese New Year call a sequence of calls. So we've divided them up a little bit. So next week is going to be all about the snake. And then the following week, we're going to have two calls that are going to be Q&A calls. And the reason for that is just we're going to be bringing a lot of the questions together on the elements and just kind of doing a bulk answer of questions. So that basically, hopefully before you start moving your remedies, you have your questions answered. And the other thing that I would say to you before we move into 2025 in January, just to start again, like log in. And actually on that, which I don't have in my that I don't have actually on my chart that I got down from the attic this morning, is the fact that we are moving everything over to a brand new portal. So essentially we're streamlining, like everything is being decluttered and streamlined in our business and in our community, in everything, in every way. And one of them is we've had loads and loads and loads of different systems for everything, and we're just bringing it all into one new home. Okay, so let's go onwards. Actually, do you know what? I thought of this earlier and I was like, I'm going to do it. I pull them out and I put them back in again. But I'm going to get them now. Since we're talking about the new year, I thought, let's just pull a few cards and ground ourselves and connect with the energy for the new year for ourselves. And before I go on to our next kind of stage of today's session. Oh, let's see. They want to come out. I haven't used these ones in so long because I haven't been traveling so much. So close your eyes. if you can, if it's safe to do so, close your eyes, roll your shoulders back, and take a nice deep breath in. And with that deep breath in, just exhaling. As you exhale, just allow your whole body to relax. Just surrender, allow your body to relax. Feel the tension in your shoulders just melting away. Lengthen your spine, feel your sit bones, maybe connect your feet to the earth. And as your feet are connected to the earth, just imagining they're sinking into Mother Earth, and feel yourself being held here. And just giving thanks for the earth beneath us, for this beautiful, beautiful planet that we are all blessed to be on. We spent a couple of weeks at the Temple of the Universe just over Christmas and New Year. And, this one always made me laugh. Mickey said it so many times. He was like, you know, if you went to Mars or if you went to the moon, there's just dust. There's nothing there. You'd be bored. You'd be really bored. And I just like, just close your eyes for a minute with your feet, as your feet are on the earth, and just think about all the beauty. Like, you have a lovely home, there's grass growing outside, or maybe there's snow, maybe there's trees, there's flowers, there's waterfalls, there's rivers, there's cars, there's supermarkets, there's traffic, there's rain, there's sun, like all these amazing things that we just kind of go, oh yeah, this is a planet Earth. But like, if you were on planet Mars, you'd be bored out of your tree. Like, take me back to earth. So we're just going to come into like being appreciative for where we are, and for this beautiful practice of Feng Shui that supports us bring more harmony and balance and flow into our lives. And for a moment, for everyone here in this program, just really bring your attention to your heart. And just think about some of the beautiful things that have unfolded for you as being like little aha moments you might have had as being part of this community. Think of some of the wins that you've seen other people share, that you're like delighted for them. Maybe think about for yourself, maybe you've done a session, you've done an interview with me, you're like, oh my God, like this happened and this happened. Or maybe there's just some things that you've noticed, little subtle shifts that have happened, and bring your awareness and appreciation to that. Like, bring your appreciation to the fact that you have a home, that you're able to really to feng shui, and you have the resources around you to help you to do that. And with that sense of appreciation, just allow your heart to open, bringing a smile to your face and a smile to your heart, and then just smiling at your home, just giving a smile, gratitude for this roof over your head, for the heat, for just the fact that you have a place to call home, and give thanks to it. And then just give thanks to each of the elements. These elements around your home, each one of these remedies, they've been like actively dispelling, balancing, and harmonizing the chi in your home to bring more harmony, more balance, more flow, and just give thanks. Each of these elements has come from Mother Earth. Whether it's the wood element, one of the plants, whether it's metal like iron ore, it's being brought out from the earth. Mother Earth has gifted us this metal element to bring more harmony. If it's the fire, that element that we see in our house, that we see around us, like that pink and purples and reds, like that is such a powerful force that we're going to be bringing back more into our lives, more of that energy of optimism and growth and transformation. Maybe it's the element of water, that water that's moving through your home, that is mirrored in the rivers and the oceans and the sky with the clouds. Like, it's just so amazing when we start to think about how each of these elements are here supporting us, supporting our homes, supporting our families. And from this place, I want you to now just give yourself a moment to imagine that you are just you are a beautiful being of light. You are a beautiful being of light. I want you to imagine inside of you, that inner light that shines within you is just shining brightly. And as it shines brightly, and you are just like, your heart is expanding as you're this beautiful beam of this light within your house. And as you feel that light just shine up, I want you to imagine that you are just coming up out of your body, your physical body, and you're just this beautiful light being floating around your house, and you've got a little wand in your hand, and you're just like going around your house, just blessing your home, just like waving sprinkles of love and gratitude. Maybe it's art, a piece of art that you love, or the books that are on your shelves, or blessing your fridge or your cooker, or some memories that you had on a certain couch, or your beautiful bed that's got lovely feng shui, and your whatever, the linen cupboard for all the lovely snuggly towels, just going around it, just sprinkling magic fairy dust or of just appreciation and gratitude all around, as if you're doing a space clearing, but this is a space blessing, and you're just sending love and appreciation to every room, and just see yourself moving through every room of your house, every area, into places that might be a bit dark, and you're like, I'm going to sprinkle some light into that corner, and maybe you're going to send it up to the attic and say, okay, I know I'm going to tackle you and send some magic light up there, so you're like, okay, give me a hand to be able to tackle this, or down to the basement, and then just send this light, this energy, this sparkling loving energy through every part of your home, and allow you to sense that every particle, every piece of furniture is absorbing this sparkly loving energy and this appreciation. And it's like, oh, I feel this love. And feel it kind of like it's like taking in this hug and this beautiful energy. And it's like, oh, thank you so much. And the idea of just this kind of blessing of your space, a blessing of yourself, and then sending this blessing energy around to every person in your home, and maybe standing, and you float up on top over your front door, and you just like allow yourself to maybe place something there that's just going to constantly sprinkle, like maybe it's like one of those bubble blowers over your front door, and it's sending down these sparkles and beautiful loving blessings, that everything that comes in, whether it's as we have preference for good or bad, whatever it is, gets blessed with love and light, and that we can handle it easily and joyfully, and that life is just a blessing, and all that comes in is just blessed with love and light. And now we're going to say thank you, just a big thank you, and you can come back into your body, into this space, and with your hand on your heart, I want you to think about this time next year. So we're sitting here in January 2026, and you're just going to reflect on the year and how your home has supported you so beautifully. And I want you to think about like how you want to be feeling, like what's the word you're going to be sharing? Like, was 2025 a year of growth? The stake is about transformation. It's about connection with earth. It's very much about like, like wisdom. It's about like very conscientious decisions. And it's a very wise and very, very, very powerful force. So you want to just think about, okay, well, how do I be reflecting on 2025? And just give yourself a kind of an idea to kind of anchor a little target that you're like, okay, I'm going to be coming to the call and feeling like I feel like 2025 was an amazing year of just growth, transformation, love, ease, abundance, and you're just feeling like refreshed and just kind of like, wow, like that was an incredible year. And every year is always going to be incredible, but I want you to anchor in this inner vision. So and that you're like, this is like your guiding force, like for yourself, for your home, that how do you want the house even to be feeling? We were driving home a few weeks or there, we're driving home, Ken was like, I really want to like upgrade the light switches. I was like, okay, so do you want your house to feel upgraded, to feel more loved? And because when you love your house, you're loving on yourself. So keeping your intention on that. And as you do that, it's like opening up to the space of just more abundance in time. And maybe your intention is for abundance in like financially, but it could be abundance in time. It could be an abundance of love. It could be an abundance in relationships. It could be an abundance in connection, in friendships, in your career, in your family and community. So just like really give yourself, we're going to call in the goddess Anya, who represents abundance, and she's this beautiful beam of light around her, and it's like almost like the sprinkling that we've just done of our house, and just connecting with that energy of abundance. Because when we do that, and we set our intention and we take action towards it, we just open up to this beauty. And one of the things as we move through this month before we actually start implementing our remedies, when I come into a space of just appreciation for everything that we have, that we get to do this. We get to do this for our homes. We get to do it for our families. And we get to actually really change our inner state as well as we dive into appreciation and joy. So taking a nice deep breath, I want you to now imagine that your feet are deeply connected to the earth and you're feeling the roots. And we're going to tap into just the frequency of Mother Earth. We're going to tap into the frequency of Mother Earth, that it gives you the support, that it gives you the safety and the sense of connection, so that and that you have this sense of just appreciation and depth and seeing the beauty of all of Mother Earth around you, that you can really start to see that beauty and see the spiritual, the ethereal, and the physical aspects of Mother Nature, because it is at work within your house throughout your remedies and everything. Every day, all the time, helping you. And I want you to just give you from your heart, I want you to send down from your heart into your legs, into your feet, just appreciation for Mother Earth, and say, thank you. Thank you for this gift of life. Thank you for this gift of all of these beautiful elements. And thank you for the beautiful place for my home to be located. And just thank you. And now we're just going to just kind of send our final loving vibes down there. And then we're going to bring that energy from Mother Earth and all the goodness that she holds and that beautiful supportive energy. We're just going to bring it up to our hearts from the roots, and just kind of bring it up into our hearts and thank ourselves. And with a smile on our face and a smile on our heart, we're just going to thanks for each other for being here, for our amazing questions, for these amazing elements, for our amazing team, for technology to be able to do all of this. And just bringing a smile to our face, a smile to our hearts. And then we're going to blink our eyes and blink our fingers. So for those of you who are here for the first time saying, what is she doing blinking our fingers? We are blinking our fingers because this is one of our new signs for our house. And when we're on Zoom calls, it'll be way more fun. But basically, at the Bali Bliss retreat a couple of months ago, it was like only a few weeks ago in November. We did so many activities and we had such an amazing time. But there was like one evening that we'd been like, it was well in, and we're like, okay, we just don't need to relax. So we're doing a little relaxing meditation. And all of a sudden, like I was like totally zenned out, and it kind of like trance, but I'd been guiding the meditation. I was like, and now slowly blink, and I usually say blink your eyes open, but I said blink your fingers open, and then we all opened our eyes and we were all going like this. So over the years I've been thinking about like what would our symbols be for like power heart, like if we were a powerhouse gang, like what would our symbols be? Love hearts. And I know there's this one like that, the Korean one, Gina and Jeanette had this on the other retreat, the Korean love hearts one, but we also have like, that was the other one, like thinking fingers. And it's just about like bringing more joy into what we're doing. And when we think about the Feng Shui, we think, oh, it's like serious and get it right, and people get like caught up. Like I did a huge Q&A session earlier on today, and someone was like, my roof is slanting, and I was like, you have a roof, like do the bedroom in a different way, so we can take this like as serious as we want, or as lightly, and hold it all lightly and gently, because we're meant to be here and we've this gift of doing it. So I thought it would be nice. I'll just share the little cards. The ritual card is, and by even just doing Feng Shui, we are doing a ritual in our house and the changeover and honoring the cycles. And there's a beautiful sacred site. This is Caro Moore. It's like a stone circle. I don't know what's it. It's like a card as well, maybe. Anyways, this has a ritual. So it's the idea of like what we're doing is ritual. And then we also got keep your eyes targeted on your intention. So it's like focusing our attention on like where we're going. And this is something so powerful. Like when your sail is set in a certain direction, it may go off. But, if you've ever done sailing, you tack this way, you tack that way. And some people are like, I'm going to log back into the portal. I'm going to do this. And, we forget it. We get distracted by different things, but you just keep tacking back to the direction, to where you're setting your sail towards. And then we got the Earth card, which is amazing because our Powerhouse certification ladies after this are going to be we're going to be on with Penny talking about the land. And if this is something you haven't, and just because we're on Earth and Penny's going to be talking later to our certification ladies, if you haven't done the Cairn yet, that would be a beautiful thing to do at the new year. If you haven't built your cairn for your land. And if those of you who are more recent into the program, at the solstice last year, we all a lot of us went through a process of building a cairn, which is a sacred site outside our home to anchor in that south energy, but also to support us and we created a beautiful grid between everyone around us. So that's beautiful. And then the final card we got was the abundance card. Yay! So that is our cards for us in the new year: connecting to the earth, keep our eyes focused, and continue with our rituals of the Feng Shui. What was really weird was being in America. Ken was just like, I got like a blister in my heel and I was like, ow, ow, ow. And he's just like, what's wrong with you? What is wrong? What's wrong with you? Like, I've never noticed you like this. And I'm like, Ken, I've worn sandals. I haven't worn shoes since last March. So I have these new runners, and he said they're running on them, they're too heavy. So because I literally haven't worn shoes, and I'm like, when I'm in Greece, I'm barefoot. Like, I wear my runners, but they're different. Anyways, yeah. So grounding, being on the earth, so powerful, so powerful. So we're going to go to our next section. I'm glad the cards all resonated. Yes, the abundance card. Nice change. Okay, so there's a few things, and the first one was prep for 2020 in this prep for 2025. Make 2025 your best year yet. If you didn't get to attend that call, I would highly recommend you checking it out. There's the call available for everybody. We have it on a specific link as well that we can share for you to watch. And then what we're doing is we actually are going to have a snippet of just that meditation alone, because that meditation alone was so powerful and very helpful. And this is one of the things that I really do recommend, because a lot of us are in this community. There's a lot of us here for a very long time. And if I was to say, like, the biggest thing that has created a bigger dial change in my life in the last couple of years, because, you know, I live in a beautiful feng shui home always, is my meditation practice. And in the portal, we've added all the little short meditations. There's short ones, there's the morning and evening one that I see even just this week. Neve in the Winds posted, like, she's really noticed a difference from just doing the evening meditation. And we've had some big advocates for the morning and evening ones. So they're short, like 15 minutes, 18 minutes. Just like, if you're going to do something, like, do it for you. The benefits are so powerful, and it will help you help your feng shui. Like, it's a symbiotic relationship between you and your house. The next thing I would say to you to prep for the year ahead is just start thinking about your intentions. And you can start to, like, write them out if you wanted to kind of find all your old affirmations. That's something that you could actually take out. Like, I would say that this time of the year, like, you're like, will I take my remedies out? You leave your remedies in place until you're going to change them, essentially. Like, you leave them in place until you're going to change them. That's and then, yes, what you can take out is your affirmations and intentions. And those sheets could be something that you could take and then refresh. Again, this is a time for, like, refreshing. So you could start to work on writing your intentions for the new year. And also, I've got even the languaging thing, you'll notice in our Powerhouse program, like, and in the members group, we're so tuned into conscious languaging, because nobody has been taught conscious languaging. Like, we've never ever been taught about how to verbalize things. And when we say things, we are thinking it. When we're thinking it, we're feeling it. Thinking, feeling, speaking is creating. It's casting spells. Like, you're literally casting spells. So I am, for example, I'm just gonna, Ken often, and I'm like his, you can't even imagine what I'm like with everybody here, like with your comments and posts. I'm like, no, change the language to solution orientated. But an unconscious program of Ken's would be like, we better I'll bring the umbrella, it might rain. Like, it's always the outcome. It's like it could be I'll just bring the umbrella. He doesn't need to add an extra bad thing that could happen. Like, not that the rain is bad, but this is a very light version, because I'm not going into telling others, like, you know, that kind of energy. But the idea is just watch the language. If you are saying, like, you know, and that's why even in the portal, you'll see the portal opportunity for growth. Things could be not sweet. They may be bitter, but it is all about growth, and it's all opportunities for growth. If things are not moving in the direction that you want to, that you have preference about, how can you then look at it from a different direction and say, oh, okay, this is why that has happened. And it's all about growth. Everything. We're souls brought to earth to learn and to grow and at the same time enjoy it. But some of its growth isn't going to be pretty. You know, even teenagers, they get growing pains because they physically have to go from this size to this size. It's not easy. So one of the things would be even the affirmations. I'm like moving into like intentions, and you're seeing them, the seeds. When we were at Bali, we went to an amazing, oh my God, it was like a whole new thing on the retreat this year. It was fantastic. But in one of the circles that we had that day, this amazing chef, she was talking about like this seed, about this amazing, this kind of what is the name of I'm trying to think of the fruit. I think she was saying it was like a jackfruit. Anyways, it's a fruit, like a big, big fruit, a huge fruit. And it has like millions of seeds in it, like so many seeds in it. And she said what she feels like is she sees this seed. And then when she goes to give a talk, she gives talks regularly. She gives a talk and it just like the seed just drops. All the little seeds are planted. Some of them will grow, some of them won't grow, some of them will. And that's how you have to see your intentions. Like you set the intentions and then you just allow the flow of life to bring and to flow to what is supposed to be for your highest good. And that's why I was like, for my highest good and perfect unfolding of my life purpose. And then you trust that it's all moving in the right direction. So affirmations, intentions. And this is like, I already started as I was like planning today's session. I was I was literally in bed yesterday and I was going, oh yeah. I was scanning this house myself about things that I want to get rid of and a deep clean. And one of the things is, you know, this house is on Airbnb when we're not here. That's completely cool. But Airbnbers leave random stuff behind. And I don't mind. They often leave books. And the other day I was just zooming in the bookcase and I'm like, there's that book, there's that book, there's that book, there's that book. I was like, these books I don't want. I'm not going to read them. Ken's not going to read them. And like, it could be handy for another person, but I don't want that in my temple. I don't want this book, like the best golf book in the world. I'm like, no interest. And some questions came up in this that I think is going to be really, really interesting as you go into declutter mode, because declutter mode, just think about everything having an energy and a frequency. So your fire element is there specifically changing the vibration frequency of the area. Like it is doing its work. It has an energy. The metal element is there. It has an energy. It has a frequency. So does everything in your house, like absolutely everything. And this is where I would say to you to literally decide, I'm going to just take one, like over the next couple of weeks, just take one gua or one room at a time and just go back through it and say, think about your, like for it being like your body, you know, I don't know, I'm just trying to think like all the crisps and all the junk food. Like if you ate, like eating McDonald's and eating toxic food is going to make you feel sick. Having stuff in your house that has that's really low vibration, low frequency food is going to impact your health. The same goes for your house. And having things that don't have the nicest, best energy is time to change it. Like it's really important. So one of the questions is this worthy of being in my temple? This is your temple. Your house, your four walls is your space. It's your sanctuary. And is it worthy of being here? I saw Laurie posting about her new house after 17 years. I was like, oh my God, like that is the biggest, most amazing thing you could ever do, is because you just have to like, and I will be like literally a regimented like sergeant with like, nope, not coming. Like, because you want to think about and keeping it. Does it feel good in my space? And is it aligned with my intentions for 2025? You know, so I prefer less than more and creating a space for something new to come in. Does this mean you get rid of everything? No, but what it does mean is like, if there's some like piece of furniture, you're like, oh, that piece of furniture. You may not necessarily need to you're like, but where am I going to sit? Yeah. Can you get a couch cover? Can you get a nice throw to just like uplift it? Is there a way that you can raise the energy of it? Is there a room that you go into that you're like, this room? And it could be the paint on the walls, you know. Last year we renovated we didn't renovate the whole bathroom, but we had the painter come and I was like, this is it, we're getting rid of this wall, because it was an accidental dark color that ended up being kind of black. And I was like, it wasn't meant to be that color. But when it was done, it was done. And we had it for several years. And it's not a good feng shui color either, but it didn't look like that. So when it was done, I was like, oh, now, oh my God, we just changed. All we did was change the paint colors and we painted the tiles. And I was like, it's like completely different. It feels so different. So sometimes it doesn't mean that you have to like get rid of something or change something. And the same goes for our kitchen. Our kitchen was like a bright red. We first had this house, and then it was like terrible feng shui, fire element in like three guas that never basically have always needed metal for like the whole time we've been here. And this red kitchen, I was like, oh, so we painted it ourselves the first time really badly. And then we had just this guy come and spray it. Like, so it's like, how can you upgrade things? How can you raise the vibration of things? Because you can do that. So as you were thinking, as you're kind of like just thinking about your house yourself, like right now, is there a specific room? Is there a specific area? Is there a specific thing that you're like, do you know what? I need to either raise the energy of it, or I need to change it, or I'm going to get rid of it. So I've definitely got some books I'm going to do. I was sitting in the sitting room yesterday. I was looking at all these DVDs that we leave for the Airbnb guests. And I'm like, okay, I'm not keeping them while we're here. I'm going to go through them again. And then I'll keep some, because people comment, is like, oh, it's really nice to have DVDs, even though we've Netflix. But then sometimes Netflix doesn't have the movies or whatever that you want, kind of fun ones like those ones. So this is what you want to be doing. Like every piece of art, like what does it feel like? You know, there's a few pieces of art that I've let go of already this year. That I'm like, no, that's not me anymore, you know. And does it align where you're going? The next step, oh, deep clean. Okay, the next thing is deep clean, and this is where like, you know, is there a space that you're like, okay, this could, and this may be a place where you kind of go, you know what, I'm just going to get someone to help me as well. You know, don't think you have to do this all yourself. Like there's amazing people who are amazing cleaners. And like we used to have this woman that came to this house, and like we still like, I come back and the Airbnb cleaners they're great. They're never Serena clean. Like this woman, it was like she was gifted with this gift. You come in and you're like, whoa. So like that is something that you may just kind of go, okay, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to get someone to come in and do a deep clean with me or without me, but just kind of get into those little areas that you might have time to do. But don't do it from a place of guilt or feeling bad or anything. Just be like, this is a gift to yourself that you've that, or do it yourself. Like I remember meeting this woman at the Michael Singer's place, the temple, and this lady, and she was just like, I just get on my hands on my knees and I clean the floor with love and with gratitude for these floors, and I send and expend love into every part of my home and into everything I'm cleaning. And I was like, wow, that's a whole new look at cleaning. She's like, this is just an opportunity for me to give thanks for my home. And I'm like, oh, like, because art, like, and it's just a change of perspective. She's like, this is an opportunity for me to love my home. And I'm like, wow, I'm still not quite there yet, but I was like, that I could actually do that. You know, so there's certain things for me in our house that I'm like, oh, I'll do that. I'll come back and I'm like, oh, these little things that I want to get into to like smarten up. So that could be just something I think is just a gift to everybody, and be like, okay, where needs to be tackled. And the other thing is the decluttering is for if you're thinking about the new year and you want it to feel lighter moving into the new year. Go to those places that the cupboard is full, that the drawers are full, and start to just take a few pieces out, a few things out. So it's just not as stagnant. We want to move into 2025 New Year, Chinese New Year, lighter. And this idea of like, when you feel lighter, life is lighter. And when your house feels lighter, it does. It's all, as I said, symbiotic. And so it's the same. Like, you know, I know that I did a call on this before when I was doing health and well-being. It's like the fasting process. So I'm a big fan of Dr. Mindy Peltz and her fasting protocols. Her book is called Eat Like a Girl. So if you do want to look after fasting, hormones, balance, it's just amazing. And if you had said to me a few years ago, like, you're just going to be such an advocate of like 1 day fasts and doing fasts and not, Ken is just like, Patricia, are you going to eat? And I'm like, yes, I am. But but I feel so, it's amazing. And it's the same with your house. Like I've got lighter physically, but it's the same. So the stuff that we think we need, we thought we needed breakfast, lunch, and dinner because that's what we were programmed to think needs to be in our diet. Like it's not all the time we need it. It's the same with our house. So some things that we think we need to have, you might necessarily need to have that you could just kind of let go of. So the deep clean and the decluttering is a really big one, and I definitely really recommend giving yourself just permission to get some help as well with that. And then the other parts of decluttering would be your attic. Like I was talking about the areas where there's a bit of like you walk in, you go, oh, there's a bit much in that, or that's a bit full. And that's where you want to take some of that because you want some spaciousness in your life, some lightness. And the same goes for the attic or the basement or the garage. So these three places can be really things that can be holding you back, can be creating overwhelm, stress, all of that on your weight on your shoulders. You're like, why do I feel stuck? What? And then it's like all this old history, because usually the attics is full of your history. And then you're wondering why you can't move forward because your house is just full of the past. And the same goes for the basement. Like, why can you not shift your energy to feel more emotionally lighter, more joyful, more happy? Because if the basement is filled with old diaries and old photos and like legal stuff, it's just all still there. It hasn't been brought to the surface and cleaned up. So that would be my recommendation. And then the same is that sense of the garage. It's kind of like, oh, I'll just put that to the side. It's not gone though. It's not gone, which is really an important aspect. And then from that, and if you're making a list, is going to do a space clearing. So I would highly recommend that before the idea is you take out your affirmations, to get rid of those, declutter, deep clean, just think about that alignment. Does it suit where I'm going? Does it serve me, my future? And is it in that like alignment? And then doing a space clearing. So before you're going to implement your new remedies, do a space clearing. And this is a beautiful practice that you can do at any time, but I highly recommend doing it before you put your remedies in. So you would take your remedies out. We're going to talk more about remedies in a minute, but also remedies when we get onto the Q&A calls. But the kind of sequence for people who are new is that you will get your report. I'm going to talk through some easy strategies for your report in a second. You're going to see the date. You're going to prep any remedies that you need extra of, because most of the time you have a lot of them already in your house from previous years or from the previous year. Get the extra ones. And then on or around the 3rd of February, you're going to remove the remedies. And then you're going to do a space clearing. And then you're going to put your new remedies in. That's how it moves. Okay. So that's kind of the sequence of events. So remedies refresh. So we're just going to talk about the remedies for a few minutes. And actually, I'm going to go on and move from the remedies refresh. So as I said, we won't have salt cures, and there'll be limited moving metal and limited red earth. It's just the way the numbers are flowing this year. So let's go. So this chart is what I do. So only in December, we were at the Temple of the Universe, and we had a new house, and we were like, oh, we need to do our remedies. We need to do our Feng Shui. So what we did was we had the floor plan. So typically, I'm just going to talk through what I do when I have a new place to Feng Shui. And we get the floor plan. You'll get your report, and your floor plan is there, and it's marked out. Okay. I would get a draft, another version, another piece of paper, like roughly. You don't because then you have your floor plan that you could see easily, and it doesn't get wrecked. That's on your report that you've printed out. So I would basically just kind of mark out the shape of the building, like literally very simply. I'd mark out the shape of the building, and then I draw my lines into my 9 guas. And then I write north, south, east, west. And I'll also put I'll mark something on it. So for example, I've got lovely colored markers from Lida. So say for example, my front door, I'll just put front door here. So wherever your front door is and where the direction is, you'll just put that in front of it and you've marked it out. And then you go through your report, like you printed out your report and you're like, okay, north area needs fire. And I'm like, okay, fire. And I literally just write into each one. So the northeast needs wood. The east needs metal. The southeast needs metal and moving metal. That's this year. The south needs red earth. I need wool. I have wood. I've got more metal because most of us are going to a metal and maybe heavy metal. Okay, so you've got your remedy. I just literally write it out on a plan. So then when I'm walking around my house, I don't have the report. I'm not trying to look at all the pages. I just look and I'm like, okay, this is my south area and I need metal here. And then I stand there and I look around that area. And this is something I would say to you like right now is if you've already done your floor plan, but a really good thing is to step out your house. So when we are marking up your floor plan, we're doing our best to be accurately lining it, but you actually measuring it out and stepping out where the 3 guas are, you'd be very surprised. Like it could be, you could have had a remedy in the wrong place, like because of the lines. So not the lines that we've drawn, but because like you haven't actually measured it out. So I would highly recommend you before you come into the new year is just to get your floor plan and count like with footsteps or with a measuring tape and count like the length. And then divide it by 3, like where the lines are. And then like I get a bit of tape. If it's a bigger house, I get like a bit of tape and I put it on the ground so that I know where it is. I'm like, okay, that's one line. And then I'll do it the other way. So you're really then accurately standing in the gua. Like, and it could be different rooms or whatever as well, but you're in it. Then you're able to see, okay, I need metal here. And then you're like, oh, look, there's the fridge kind of on it. And there's the cooker. So you're able to see it way easier when you've got it marked a little bit. And you're just way more accurate in the locating of your remedies, because that is important. And those little line things, it can be just simple and like way that you kind of the way you've judged it, going, oh, that must be there. But if you've just measured it out, I would certainly recommend that. Now, the next thing that I do is I write down. So if I have to what I'll do first, what I do is like mark it out. I put, okay, Southwest, I need metal. So then I can walk into the Southwest and see it. And I hope this is helpful for people because I just find like sometimes I know that some people have said, I can't get my remedies in, or I'm taking my time, or it's like, I'm overwhelmed. Like, I'm like, how can we make this as easy as possible? And the easiest way is like, get your plan and just mark in each area what you need. And then you're like, oh, that's what I need. And it even gets easier because you're just going to go through here and I'm just going to use this exact example. So metal. So metal can be like 18. So I need three metal by 18 kg. And then I need 1 heavy metal. So I need heavy metal by 1. And that's like, say, 21 kg. Okay. And then I go wood. Oh, I need 1 wood. 1 wood. Fire. Oh, I've got 1 fire. Water. I just need one water. And earth. I don't have any red earth, but I'll just put red earth. I need 1. So then what you're looking at, and then you want to have external water or mountain. So external water could be 1, and that could be in the north, which is most auspicious, or it could be in mountain 1 if you need it. But this means that when you're looking at what you need, you can go through and be like, oh, well, I already have fire element, tick. I have 2 metal already. So you can make it a lot easier for yourself. And literally like fire, you're like, they're the same elements always: fire, water, metal, earth, wood, some red earth, moving metal, water, external mountain, external water and mountain. And what I want us to do is to do this lightly and easily and joyfully. So you mark it out in your plan, then you write your list, and then you can just like tick it off. Like I got everything. I got all the stuff on Amazon, and it came within, because I've got Amazon Prime. I got the mirrors. Oh, and you could have mirrors, for example, could be another thing that you need. I got the mirrors. I went to one store, got the fire element that I needed. And luckily my friend who was there is actually an eBay reseller. And I said, do you have anything metal? And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, anything metal that I could. And he was like, come over. And of course he had 4 big giant metal weights. I was like, thank you. Can I have these? And he's like, what do you want them for? Like, they're really heavy ones. The really heavy ones. But that's it. And then it was just like, oh, that was easy. Like it didn't take long. And I think that this is one of the things that we can often kind of like, oh, I need this and this and this. It's one, two, three, four, five, six. It could be about six things. Maybe you need multiples of those six things, but some of them you could just repeat. So this is how I do it. And I hope this makes sense. Is this an easier way for people? So just a little refresh on the elements, because I think that, one of the things over the next couple of months is that like, or over the next month, is that there's going to be a lot, like there'll be information that you already know. And just for us to be able to help you the best, please, when you're thinking of asking a question, just check the search bar. Has this question been answered already? Because it probably has. Check your report. So your report is printed out, and before you start looking at or asking questions, just take a minute to sit down with your report, read it, go through the photos and the examples, and then come in. And if you still have a question about fire element or water element, go to the thread about it, and then we'll put all the questions there. And myself and Lucy and Angela will be like really looking after those threads with the elements and inviting people to post there. I think that's a really important. It's just to try to keep it as streamlined, and then you can learn all about the different elements. Thank you so much. So just to let you know that next week we are going to be doing our call about the year of the snake and what the energies of the snake are, and then we will move from there the following week into Q&As, and that is when we're working on all the reports. As I said, there's 193 people who have ordered reports that have not given us additional information, and we need the additional information before we start working on your report. So there's 99 people here. There's nearly 900 in the group. There's a percentage of you that we haven't got your information. So your reports are literally on hold. I think that's everything. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. And actually, just so anyone knows, for the live events in Dublin, we have a live event in Dublin in March, and we have a live event in London in April, at the end of April. The Dublin event, the spaces are filling up pretty quickly, number one, and it is a much smaller venue. So we will definitely like sell out of the Dublin one. So just to let you know, if you are intending to come, like, please do get your ticket for that. Have an amazing evening. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's just make 2025 the best year yet and get our houses just prepped. And then we'll be on prepping for the snake next week with all of the stuff that's going on with that. It's really, really interesting. Bye. Good night, everybody. Thank you.